In section B of paper 3, you will be asked questions about what is sometimes called unseen fieldwork. That's fieldwork that you haven't seen before, that someone else has done. You will be presented with resources to work with. These are the stages that fieldwork follows. You may be asked questions about any of the stages in unseen fieldwork examples. I'm going to provide example questions for each of these stages. There is a stage indicator in the bottom left of your screen, so you can see which stage we are at. All of the questions you encounter will test how well you can apply your geographical knowledge. There may be questions about the introduction and planning of fieldwork. This example is looking to see if you understand risk assessment. Maybe you could provide advice about encountering traffic or getting lost. Some of the questions will provide information to work with. You may be asked to consider how a fieldwork example may be improved. Here you are asked to suggest an additional question in a survey. This is quite open. Credit will be gained for any valid additional question that gives a more accurate picture of visitors to the area. Perhaps ask the reason for the visit, length of stay, or whether accommodation was used. A valid reason would show how your question links to the enquiry. Perhaps your question would show the relative popularity of different types of facility, shops, or services, or how effective the regeneration has been. You may be asked to reflect on decisions that people have made about collecting accurate and effective data. This example considers the sampling methods that students might select. You see, you aren't asked a factual question, such as, what is systematic sampling? But you are asked about how you might use it. It is possible you will be asked to complete data presentations using results that are provided. In this example, A, by completing figure 3 using data provided. You may also be asked to analyse or interpret data that is provided, as in B. You are expected to know key terminology, such as primary and secondary evidence. But questions test how you apply them, rather than just ask you what the term means. To collect additional primary data for C, in this example, you might use a questionnaire or survey. You could take photographs, or perhaps note building quality or age. Sometimes you might be asked to suggest better alternatives to present data. The method in this example doesn't make it easy to compare the data. Perhaps a bar graph would have been a better choice. As you can see, you may gain marks for providing valid reasons for your choice. You are likely to be asked questions to show you are able to analyse data. Presentations will be provided for you to work with. In this example, areas C and D have the highest scores, but there are significant variations within the data. It is not as simple as providing the highest score. Some aspects may be more significant in relation to environmental quality, and it is your job to explain the choice that you have made. It is perfectly possible to score full marks on the question, having selected an area with a lower score. Similarly, you may be asked to describe patterns in data. In this example, it would seem the closer the region is to Leeds, the higher the number of people who are prepared to travel to Eastgate, with the East Midlands an exception to this rule. Inversely, the further the region is from Leeds, the less likely people will travel to visit Eastgate. There is a chance you will be asked to draw conclusions from data provided. Figure 8 is a scatter graph, comparing distance from Eastgate with pedestrian counts that have taken place. It would be perfectly acceptable to draw a line of best fit on the scatter graph to help you see the relationship between the two sets of data and draw appropriate conclusions. As always in paper 3, There is a possibility you will need to propose improvements or consider when the data is poorly presented or vague, as in this example, where you are being asked whether reliable conclusions can be drawn from this data. The evaluation is where you consider what went well and even better if. How would you improve your fieldwork if you did it again? Or, in this example, how would you adapt the method to obtain more reliable data? Perhaps by asking more males, surveying at different times and on different days, or balancing the number of respondents in each age group. Hopefully this video has helped you prepare for paper 3. The best way to prepare for these questions is to know your own fieldwork well, so that you can transfer the skills. There are other videos about paper 3 on this channel. Thank you for watching.